Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today's topic, the contribution of Chaucer to English literature with special reference to the Threephases of his writing. Geoffrey Chaucer, the father of English poetry in the truest sense, was also the first great English writer who had the genius to assimilate the richness of French and Italian literature as well as classical authors before finally going on to direct experience of life and making nature his inspiration and law. English was hitherto locked in a long winter of expectation, gave out in his already learned verse. Their first perfume, says Emile Lewis, the opening lines of the general prologue of the Canterbury Tales just show how, when that April with his sore suite, the drought of March hath passed to the root, and bathed every venue in sweet liquor, of which virtue engendered is the floor. The three main attractive features of Chaucer's poetry are its humor, characterization, and narrative skill. He is second only to Dante among the poets of the Middle Age all over Europe, and the earliest of the great moderns. It is customary to divide Chaucer's literary career into three periods, according to the dominant influence under which he was writing: the French period, the Italian period, and the English period. This division is useful and essentially true if we remember that the periods are not so much successive as cumulative. Chaucer began his literary career under the influence of the medieval French literature, which was rich in satires, romance, fables of his contemporary poets like Deschamps and Forsters. His first literary work of importance is a translation of Roman de la Rose of Guillaume de Loris. Chaucer's Romance of the Rose poetically introduces the readers of English to the atmosphere of medieval court and the principle of courtly love. The insistence on pictorial effect is notable even in this initial endeavor, and it continued to develop in Chaucer's mature poetical works like the Canterbury Tales. He produced his first ambitious original poem, The Book of the Duchess, in 1369. This is an elegy on the death of Blanche, the wife of Chaucer's patron John of Gaunt. Through his work, Chaucer first shows his competence in dealing with intricate structure. S. is Spearing has perceived another commendable quality of the poem. For a medieval poem about death, the book is strikingly secular. The consolation offered is not the promise of heavenly reunion, but only the recollection of past happiness, and this too was tactful, if a second marriage was imminent. In the second phase of his poetic career, Chaucer came under profound influence of the great Italian masters like Dante, Petrarch, and Boccaccio, specifically through his two visits to Italy. The products of this period are the House of Fame, the Parliament of Fowls, the Legend of Good Omen, and Troilus and Cressida, composed in 1380. The House of Fame, written in three parts, turned out to be a comic fantasy resulting from Chaucer's study of Dante and Ovid. He flies above the earth, mounted on a soaring eagle, who is amazingly wise and eager to talk. The poet is taken by the eagle to the house of Romer and wrote the House of Fame, where he is to receive enlightenment concerning love from a person of great authority. But the book abruptly ends at the point, perhaps it is futile to search for a consistent, serious meaning in the whole poem. In the Parliament of Fowls, once again, the device of sleep leading to dream is adopted. The dream vision enables him to enter the society of birds and explore their philosophy and manner concerning love. It is in this poem that Chaucer uses the rhyme royal stanza of 7 lines for the first time. The legend of Good Omen, not quite finished, has a remarkably fresh original prologue, rich in Chaucerian irony. It projects his scheme of writing an account of women who, whatever their other fallings, were faithful in love till their death. The wronged heroines are Dido, Lucrezia, Cleopatra, and Medea. The great masterpiece of Chaucer's Italian period is, no doubt, Troilus and Cressida. This 8,000-line narrative poem is the earliest psychological love story in English verse, and though it derives its raw material from Boccaccio's To Philostrato, it is essentially an original creation based on the story of love and betrayal of Troilus, son of King Priam of Troy, by Cressida, widowed daughter of the seer Chaucer'S. In Chaucer's hand, Boccaccio's tale has undergone an artistic metamorphosis. Chaucer's ability to imply a simultaneously sympathetic and critical attitude to a situation shows his maturity as a creative artist. Chaucer's greatest poem expectedly belongs to the final phase, the English period, of his literary career. It is the Canterbury Tales, a book which encloses in itself a whole array of independent stories, both comic and tragic. It has started in 1386 and was left unfinished at his death in 14,000. Its great general prologue tells at the beginning how in April, when the Shropshire's folk are visits with a longing to go on pilgrimages. The scheme of the poem was borrowed from Boccaccio, but in nearly all important features, the work is essentially English. The general prologue describes the bias and character of each member of the party. Assembled here are persons of nearly all strands of society, so that the pageant of medieval English life seems to float before the reader's eyes. The tales that are put into the lips of the different characters appropriately suit the nature and temper of the tellers. Obviously, two persons will not tell the same sort of story, and while the Squire's tale is a high romance of marvels and enchantments, the Miller's is a gross rivalry. In the Clerk's tale, we specifically recognize the peerless descriptive power of Chaucer. Perhaps the best of the stories is the Nun's Priest's Tale, a wonderful mock heroic treatment of the beast fable concerning the cock and the fox. It is given a multidimensional appeal through meaningful treatment of dreams, allegories, and philosophical dissertations. Thus, in the Canterbury Tales, as David Jesmer concludes, many ingredients are sifted through the intelligence, wisdom, and artistic sensibilities of a supreme genius to build up one of the most rewarding literary adventure imaginable. Really, in the matter of poetic technique, English literature owes much to Chaucer. The heroic couplet, which was proved one of the most important poetic forms, was first established in its right in Chaucer's poetry, and the form did not see a great master till the arrival of Dryden. Even the common octosyllabic meter took on new powers in his hands. Another Chaucerian invention is the 7-line rhyme royal stanza rhyming A B A B B C C.